Hello guys, welcome to The Physical Way. Today I want to talk about Disney magic. Is it really dead? Now, all over the internet, all over YouTube, people have been saying Disney cannot make a good movie anymore. Disney have not had a home run in a very long time. And while we see TV shows from like Star Wars, MCU, all these other franchises that they've bought, 20th Century Studios, can Disney make a good Disney movie? So this video won't be about Star Wars, it will not be about the MCU, it won't be about 20th Century, it will be about Disney. Can Disney make a good movie? Now, obviously animation, they are still in the animation business. With something like Pixar, it shows that Disney have teams that can still do the job. But as we go further and further forward, it seems like the focus of the studio as a whole is on existing franchises and adapting them into live action. Like, you get something like The Lion King, for example. Now, this is a staple of many childhoods of my generation. I'm a millennial. And we all grew up watching The Lion King religiously. Like, this is our movie. But then, they say that we like The Lion King, and they have to adapt it for a live-action movie. Now, does a live-action movie have to exist for The Lion King? Some people will enjoy this movie. I'm sure people have enjoyed it. I personally am refusing to see it. I mean, I do have it in my collection, so you can knock me for that one. But you know what I'm saying? Like, this is an iconic Disney movie. It is a Disney classic. This has what's associated as Disney magic. And yes, the other one may be a good movie. I'm not saying it's not. I just don't want to watch it, but because I want to remember this version of The Lion King. But, there is no reason why you can't enjoy that one. But when it comes to animation, this is a Disney classic. And it has that Disney magic that people associate with Disney. Like, it takes them to a different mindset. It takes them back to their childhood. And it doesn't necessarily have to be something that came out during your childhood. It could be something like, this is way before a lot of our childhoods, but Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Now, obviously, they are remaking this movie. But does it need to be remade as a live action? I mean, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs is, look, it's the original Disney movie. But what made this so iconic was that it wasn't grounded in, like, what's current state in the world. It had that Disney magic of, like, okay, just come, you can suspend your disbelief from everything happening in the world. I think this would have been made during right as the start of World War II, I believe. When did this one actually come out? Would this have been like 39 or something? I know it was like the 30s or 40s this came out. But this was the original Disney movie. And, with everything going on in the world during that era, people could come and watch Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. And it was iconic. It had Disney magic. So that is the theme I'm going on today. Disney magic. Now, obviously, there are movies that were made from, like, Touchstone that have become Disney classics, like The Nightmare Before Christmas, Jack Skellington. Definitely another movie that has what is Disney magic, even though it was made through Touchstone. This was, if you ask people today, what Jack Skellington, people will say, Disney. It had Disney magic. And why is that? Because you can watch it you can switch off from the entire world and all the themes in the world, and people will call it woke culture. But I think it has nothing to do with woke. I mean, definitely there are aspects of films where I don't think it needs to be in a Disney movie, but you can leave all that at the door with Jack Skellington. You can just go in there and watch it. And this is what I'm talking about. I'm talking about, can Disney resurrect that Disney magic? Now, let's go back to The Lion King. The Lion King is one of those Disney movies that never should have worked. I mean, it was up against Pocahontas. And Pocahontas, I mean, from all the documentaries and all the talk about them, Disney's A team was working on Pocahontas, while Disney's B team was working on The Lion King. The Lion King is more iconic and has better fan reception over time than Pocahontas. Now, Pocahontas is a good movie that also has some aspects of the Disney magic, but The Lion King was on a whole other level. But when we talk about Disney magic, let me just put this back on the shelf. We'll put this back where it came from. Where did it come from, though? That is the question. We'll put it back there. There we go. Now, Little Mermaid, another great example. It seems like Disney have not made a Disney magic movie since the 90s, or at least early 2000s. Like, I'm talking like 2001, 2002. Now, you might say, oh, but Pixar, they were doing Pixar stuff, and they bought them in 2004, I believe, from Steve Jobs and all that stuff. But the Disney magic, we have not seen this Disney magic in about 20 odd, 30 odd years. And it's bad for the industry. And I get it. They want to be timely. They want to respond to what's the current state of the world. And don't get me wrong, Walt Disney himself was responding to a lot of early topics in the world. Like, that's why Song of the South is banned. Like, there are a lot of aspects in the world that were in Disney movies early on. And Walt Disney would put them in Disney movies. But to a large extent, he steered clear of a lot of like that in, Snow White or like Cinderella. There's a lot of stuff there that just wasn't in Disney movies. And it didn't need to be for quote-unquote woke. It was a lot of just come, enjoy the movie, you can switch off for a couple of hours, you don't need to think of anything else. I think the Disney magic can be resurrected. I just think they need to stop thinking about who's going to see their films. You know what? If people don't want to go and see the movies, you should not adapt to say, oh, well, we need to get the people who are most vocal online back into the cinemas. Just make a good movie. And Disney Magic can do that. I think hand-drawn animations also need to come back at some point. Like, yeah, CGI is great. It looks crisp and all that. I think it's got an aura to it when it's hand-drawn. And I don't know how more expensive that is. But you look at something like Lion King and compare it to something that came out recently. Like, what's the most recent? Moana is kind of more recent. It's sort of like done in the new style of Disney. But you don't have that iconic hand-drawn, like, you're watching an experience. And look, Disney is not in a bad shape. I mean, everyone says, oh, Disney's this and Disney's that, and Disney can't do this and Disney can do that. Disney is not in a bad shape. I can tell you right now, they are still going to hit billion-dollar movies no matter what they do. And you might say, oh, but they're not hitting billion-dollar movies at the moment. Well, just wait until Deadpool comes out. I'm just saying, they are not in a bad shape. What I'm saying is that they need to resurrect the Disney brand itself, not the MCU, not Star Wars, none of that. Disney itself, Disney Animation, Walt Disney Studios, as it was once called, and I don't know if they still call it that, but Walt Disney Studios need to resurrect the Disney magic, and they need to do it now. And this is the thing, we all grew up as Disney fans, or a vast majority of us grew up as Disney fans. And we want to see Disney do well. We don't want to see Disney go under. We don't want to see Disney do bad. We want to go to a Disney movie and say, yeah, we saw that new Disney movie and it was great, and we want to rave about it to our friends. But it's just so hard to do when we're getting basically stuff like, I don't know. I haven't got much of it on my shelf, but, let's say they do a remake of, they've done a remake of Lion King, obviously. What else have they done here? Hocus Pocus. I haven't seen Hocus Pocus 2 yet, but I have wanted to watch that. I'm waiting for it to come to Blu-ray, and that's another stance I have with Disney. I want to get their releases on Blu-ray if I want to watch them. And I will not watch them on Disney Plus until they put them on Blu-ray, because that's enough. That's a whole other topic. But, something like Milan, like if they did a remake of Milan in 2020, I believe it was. It came out during the pandemic era. But, they did a remake of Milan. That movie didn't need to exist. Now, if they had said, okay, nobody really wants the remake of Milan as a live action, what if we just did Milan 2? I'm just saying, but do it in the style of the original. Or, The Lion King has about 5 different sequels. Little Mermaid 2, I mean, all of these have sequels to them. But you don't have to do a reboot. You can essentially make something feel new. Like Toy Story 4 was kind of good for the era it came out in. Where's Toy Story 4? Toy Story 4's there. Like, it came out in between The Incredibles 2 and onward. Like, they can still make an iconic movie. Disney And that's under the Pixar label. So that is Pixar. But you know, they still have these people in the Disney organization who can put together a great movie. But it also has to be a original story that is not tied to anything, and it has to be Disney magic. Come up with a new idea. Disney magic can be resurrected. Disney's not in any bad shape. They just need to take a risk. And it hasn't been since the 90s that they've really taken a risk on a new IP. So look, I know this is a bit of a rant. Tell me what you guys think, and I'll hope to catch you in the next one. Like, subscribe, drop a comment, and yeah, bring back the Disney magic.